Hi there. Science and religion. It seems like when you speak about science, there is an explanation for the majority. When it comes to religion, there's no explanation. This is how it seems. I'm not saying it's always the case. It has always been some kind of conflict. I'm not saying it is the conflict. I say people's interpretation, they interpret this as like a conflict between religion and science. Now, what is behind it? What is science to begin with? Science, I'm not looking for a definition, by the way, which is written in a dictionary or perhaps what is Googled, whatever. It's just what do we feel from science? Science is a definition, is parameters, we can understand it. That's it. We can seal it. That's it. It's sealed. We understand. It's a theory. It's a theorem. It's a formula. We understood it. That's it. So that's it. Religion, when it comes to religion, it's always vague. I don't know. Do it like this, but I need an explanation. Everybody say, I need an explanation. I don't want just to follow. You think I'm a follower? I don't need to be a follower. I'm a scientist. Everything has to be proven. I need scientific evidence. Otherwise, I won't follow. So this is the two things are. Okay, this is what is explained. Now, I'm not talking about what is explained. I'm talking what is behind it. I'm talking about the follower. The followers in plural. When they say science, you're looking for stop. You're looking for a final stop. And then to sit. It's the picnic. Because if you leave it like this, hey, yo, the responsibility will be shifted, will rebound to you to have a duty of conscience to think. But me, scientific. Does that mean you don't follow the scientists? No, we don't say that. We're going to get to that. Science, when it is in the ether, in the mystery, it's the potential property of every human being. This is when you can call it science. Everyone is a shareholder and he is searching. That's you call him a scientist. He found or he didn't find, doesn't matter. When science is discovered from the mystery into, existence, is taken, that's it. I mean, my opinion, okay, I don't say you should agree with me. I no longer call it science. I call it a monopole and we are executant. You cannot be scientist. It was discovered by one person, group of people. These are scientists. Me, I am just a follower and I am a scientist. If you want to be science, when you are all the time in a mystery and seeking. Once it is found, it's no longer science. It's a stagnation. And then it's a monopole and we are executant. I'm talking in general. I'm not talking when it comes to a vaccine, when it comes to something, a cure, and I say, no, you should not. No. We understand. It has to be known, defined. I understand that. But that's the globality. We're going to speak about what is my share as a unique person, my unicity, my uniqueness, where I find my uniqueness in this globality. It seems this just the flow. There we are. Religion, there we are. Now, when you speak about religion, it's always vague. Vague. It's not something centralized. It's not something known. But okay, even though it is like this, but why I don't go there? Because there is a duty of conscience. Because there is no stagnation. I am all the time searching. Because what's the divinity, the divine I'm talking about, the creator, did not ask you to find. He asked you to seek the truth. And the truth, what you found today, you found it and you try to seize it, and then it slips from your mind, from your hands, from your mind. You say, understand? If you want to try to understand and you say, this is it, you know what you found? You found yourself. You found your capability. It's like, you take a microphone and you talk to people, not to person. People, you talk to their nature. You say, in the human being, you say, what do you know about the sun? And the human, not him, talking about his body, he's going to tell you, I know vitamin D. And I'm going to go to the vegetable world. Hey, what do you know from the sun? Hey, the tree is going to tell you, I know chlorophyll. And I'm going to go to the white skin and I say, what do you know from the cell? Oh, the sun is just changing my color to give me the tan. And I'm going to ask the black paper, and the sun exposed for a while and it becomes white, like very clear. I say, what do you know about the sun? The paper is going to tell you, oh, it changed the color, but each predisposed nature knows certain definition or aspect from the sun. But do you know the sun entirely? What is the sun? You don't know it. You know yourself. You know your capability. The same thing about when it comes to the divinity's transcendence. Now, we're going to go to a story. It's a beautiful story. God spoke to Moses, peace be upon him. The first time God spoke to me, he said, what do you have in your right hand? Trying to make it simple. It's a very beautiful story. By the way, between parentheses, these are not stories, by the way. It's an event, like snapshots, words, tac. There's an encyclopedia behind it. And it doesn't mean I explain it. Everybody is a shareholder if he wants to think about it, because the whole world is the epitome. The whole world is epitomized from those events. You are only living those and you have your own share from them, what you understood from them. It's not just a story, 1001 Night. It's like the thief of Baghdad. Hey! So he asked him, Moses, what do you have in your right hand? He said, my cane. I have my cane. I lean on it. And he said this. Then God asked him to throw it. I think I forgot something back. Sorry. The first thing he asked him to remove his sandals. I don't want to repeat the video. He asked him to remove his sandals. He said, remove your sandals, you are by the sacred river. What is this sacred river? Is this place? Is it a geographic location? Something sacred, you don't enter it with something inappropriate. Whether you have to be clean with a good intention. You understand? This is not a geographic location, like such as a place like we say Mecca, for instance, or some other places in the world for other religions. There's a sacred place for Buddhism, Buddhist, for Hinduist, for Taoist, for Christians, for Jews. There's a sacred place. This place, it has nothing to do with its geographic location. When God told him, you should enter this, that is your mind. If you want to give respect to this, you will see something mysteries in the world. If you live in neglected way, that's you're going to lose. You're not going to pay attention. The details in the world are for those people, thinkers, and they value the miniature. What do we have about? Why did he ask him to remove his sandals, even though it is very thin? Why? It's a purpose. He said, remove your sandals, you are by the sacred river. The sandals, sometimes in our life, we acquire from the acquired. We have the innate and the acquired. what we acquire as a possession, acquisition in our life. Could be richness, could be power in our body, could be, everything is acquired. We tend to use it or weaponize it. And we stand with our self-aggrandizement. And it is a part of our identity. And then we don't realize we are standing on it, not in the external objective world, in our own subconscious psyche. We are standing on it and we are behaving from it. Actually, it will direct the flow of the emotions without us fully realizing about that. It is directing the flow of our emotions and we don't know. Here, that's the platforms that is speaking on behalf of the person. The mind, the conscience is becomes subservient to that instinct. There is no logic anymore here if a person becomes like sacred for him. You understand? That platform, acquisition, richness, beauty, physiognomy, a position at work. He is, he capital letter, or she capital letter. This is why God asked him to remove his sandal. Before you see the world outside, remove what you have in your own bags, and put it outside. Then you can understand the divine message. A scientist, getting back to the scientists, he tried to understand the world by sitting like me behind the desk. It's beautiful, by the way. I cannot show it to you. It's very expensive. That doesn't make me a thinker. It doesn't make me thinker. I have two computers in front of me. It doesn't make me thinker. You understand the world when you are from scratch. You see the world differently, as we shall see it shortly. Thinking based on something, based on that kind of a platform, you are not touching the dust reality. Next thing, he asked him to throw his cane, as I said earlier. Did he ask him to throw his cane? He said, through in Arabic, the word in the divine book, he said, detach yourself. ألقِ ما بيمينك. ألقِ عصاك فإذا. So he threw the cane, and the cane became a snake. What is this? It's like, why it became snake? Why not a lamb? Why not like another animal? What are the characteristics of the snake? Snakes, they crawl, they coil, then uncoil, but they move. And the characteristics of the reptiles, changing the color according to the area on which they crawl. When you look at the snake, a snake is there. You look at the color and the snake is there. The color is according to that area. You as an observer, you took a decision. By the time the snake moves to another area, green, it was in a brown area, he went to the green area, then the snake, the color became green. Then you find yourself in contradiction. You said it's definite. If you took it, why? While, letting the door open. Say, God knows best. You won't be in contradiction with the first observation, with the first decision, the initial decision. You say brown, we don't know, maybe. Then it went to another area, green, and then green you won't be. But the person who took a definite decision said, no, it's a brown. No, it's a brown. And then it becomes green. And then he will destroy or abolish or eliminate the initial decision to take the following one, and he lives in contradiction. You see, the stake, when it was in the hand, it was static. You can't decide at that moment. God is showing him, you understand the world. When you detach yourself from the world, you're going to see the world is in a state of metamorphosis all the time. You are attached with your egoistic desires. When you try to approach science, you approach decision, you don't understand the world that way. Logically speaking, you start by the theory and then you go to the practice. Well, here God is telling him to go to the practice and then you go to the theory. When you detach yourself from the world by being generous, by being you help you deal with the world without standing on any kind of platform of self-aggrandizement, you will understand the world better. Now, he asked him to seize it back. When he seized it, it became static again. Now, you have, where is the interspace between the two, the scientist and talking about the religious? You know, the science is not against science. The science is, when you take the science is not static. Doesn't stop. This is by the time you took a decision, there is always what you took is what you found as from being on a caravan in the middle, you found something. But that something, for the globality, as I said earlier, all of them, they take that as a theory, as a theorem, as a formula, and that's it. They want to stagnate. But you as an individual, you invest your heart in a stock market of goodness, or you want to invest your heart in a stock market of stagnation. It's up to you. I'm not talking about an individual. Your uniqueness is to say, God knows best. I don't take it as a definite. Today, science, the cure, is causing people more sickness than without the cure. Maybe, perhaps person disagree. I'm saying, whatever you do, the other one has a possibility to give a chance to his hypothalamus. You know, the one that is ejecting those chemically induced agents such as dopamine, because he is not restricted to certain logic, certain condition. Today you find the people are suffering from anxiety, stress, melancholy, everywhere in the world. There's too much science. How can that be? But the science itself is creating stagnation. Perhaps, you know, you cannot talk about 1,000 things in a few minutes, but in the 80s, big philosophers, every area, they were talking about, they were referring to the systems in the world, and they followed the philosophy of deconstructionism. Deconstructionism, they said, the systems in the world that are already rigid, very rigid, do not add more constitution, more bylaws, more institutions. Do not add, you are making it more rigid. There is no room for the individual to express his emotions. That's it. He's a robot. You know, humanity is like this today. God forbid. I mean, except, you know, some sections, some maybe individuals. They said, these philosophers, but what they fail to understand, the deconstruction, it doesn't have to do with the system. They are characterized already. I'm talking about individuals. When they reject that, okay, there is a big, huge, and immense world difference between the deconstruction in the external world and the deconstruction in your own psyche. A deconstruction is la ilaha. There is no God except God. That's the deconstruction. But deconstructing by eliminating institutions, that has nothing to do with that. It's not going to help you. What's going to help you is when you act on your own. You are exercising your brain. Here, the hypothalamus I'm talking, everything is conditioned. Precision. If not, there's nothing. Everything is conditioned. It gives you momentary, comfort. And then just after that, hey, back the stress. Excuse me. They speak about the word, is the word stagnant? Is the word static as you can see it? Of course. During the Newtonian era, Newtonian referring to Newton. But it's not him by himself. Those philosophers or physicists, what they said about the atom. They said this is the last bull that is known in the matter that cannot be divided anymore. You know, this is what they said. Everything is this. Those who took that philosophy, that science, kept thinking that way. They say, we don't believe in anything. It has to be concrete, known, explained. If it's not explained, we cannot accept it. So the last undivided element, which is the last one, is Newton. This is the stagnation. So you see the rock is a rock. That's it. The new science, subatomic world, in the quantum mechanic, what did they discover? Under such a very sophisticated microscopes, they discover in quantum physics that the atom, that word was supposed to say that the world is dormant, quiescent, doesn't move, stagnant, static. No. The atom is divided into other particles more deeper than that, is itself divided into particles, and the big mystery behind it, sometimes they are directly like this, sometimes they are with the wavy fluctuating, and the biggest mystery, we don't know their final destination. Those particles, we don't know where they are going to. Do you understand? What does it mean science is you deal with it and you renunciate. You deal with it and you renunciate. Do not take a final decision, because you are preventing you from the odysseys of the space, because perhaps it's not something to be mentioned. You will navigate after you close your eyes from this world. You will navigate into the space that you have planned it here on this terrestrial world. Those stagnations that we cause, therefore, which implies it will create an aquarium, is not made of glass. It will prevent you from navigating beyond time and space. And that's another time, perhaps you get a chance to it. Listen, it's always a pleasure. Thank you for sharing. Again, it's my own opinion about certain things. And hope to see you soon. May God open every door of prosperity in front of you. See you soon.